dive in. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Our place. Good evening to you. I'm just doing a little bit of sharing. Not all the regular sharing. This is staying in the trudging together. Staying in my stuff today. I've been working on notification stuff for people. I think I got something figured out, but people are going to have to download an app in order for it to get done. So, yeah. And of course, it's really fucking confusing. It's really confusing. See, I had all these people sign. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to be in the 12 by 12 page 106. Looks like we're going to be talking about step 12 here. I'm going to give it a little bit of extra time today, or on this one anyway, because people are trying to get here and things like that. One thing I think I'd like to talk about before I get going on this is sharing in meetings. I want everybody to be able to have a chance to feel better. But some of the things that I hear in meetings are meant for sponsors' ears only. I wish AA is not IOP. The group isn't going to be able to do anything for you. We can guide you. Okay. But some of these personal problems that I'm hearing, I don't want to fucking hear about them. What do we say? TMI. TMI, too much information. Okay. Now, divulging everything that is going on with you isn't honesty. That isn't necessarily honesty. No. In the big book, we call that frothy emotional appeal. Okay. Now, I get it. I understand because we're feeling like shit. But when we push it to the point where we're playing the victim with it, it becomes something very different. Okay. And this is the danger of letting newcomers speak in the first 30 days. That's, there's equal parts. Okay. So sometimes you'll have somebody come in and maybe they've been trying and it can take away the actual hope of other people. When we say, I've tried, and I fail. In the meetings, I feel like we're supposed to be talking about the solution. Okay. Of course, there's a balance there. It's an open meeting and I feel like people, when we allow people, newcomers to talk, then we're holding space for them. We're saying that's okay. And I like that. I like that part of it. But they don't know when to shut up yet. And laying everything on the table is not going to solve their problem. Right? Be careful on who you share your business with. Okay? You can trust people as far as that they're human. Okay? There's some people out there that they just love gossip, man. They love gossip. Let's talk about drama a little bit. Well, let's do this. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm I like drama. That's part of my problem. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. Drama Dion. I'd create drama. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the police are next door. What's going on? I need to poke my head out there and find out what's going on. The drama sustained my drinking, right? So, all right. So life is not a dead end. We're on step 12. I'm pulling this from As Bill Sees It, which was when a man had a spiritual awakening. Okay. So let's do this. If you'd like to follow along, I'm in the 12 by 12, page 106. Happy Friday evening. Thank you for joining me instead of going to the bar. I appreciate that. Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening. There's a requirement to this step. Kind of. Doesn't mean that you can't 12 step if you haven't had your spiritual awakening. Okay. A lot of people, is a spiritual experience and a spiritual awakening the same? I think that is an opinion. I believe that they are different. Okay. My first spiritual experience was the fact that my higher power relieved me of my obsession for alcohol. That was a spiritual experience for me. The promises are spiritual experiences for me. A spiritual awakening means now that I have direct contact with God. Does that mean God speaks directly to me? No. I'd like to think he does sometimes, but my answers come very quickly now because I'm open-minded and I can see I'm awake. I once was lost, now I'm found. I once was blind, now I can see, right? I was asleep. I was living in a dream world for years. Alcohol does that, okay? You do not dream. Anyway, so as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. The joy of living is the theme of AA's 12th step, and action is the key word. Action equals joy. Joy is a dividend for things that you do. See, your happiness and everything else comes from situations. That's why happiness is not the goal. That's all situational. Certain conditions will need to apply. Balance, I think, is where we're trying to go, right? Here we turn outward. Here we turn outward toward our fellow alcoholics who are still in distress. Here we experience the kind of giving that asks no reward. Here we begin to practice all the 12 steps in our daily lives so that those about us may find emotional sobriety. When the 12th step is seen in its full implications, it is really talking about the kind of love that has no price tag on it. Now, in order to do this, you need to know that there's a principle behind every step. And it is these principles that we practice in our affairs. Don't practice the steps, practice the principles because they're simple. Simple. Keep it simple. Okay? Recovery is free and simple. If it's not that, it's not recovery. Step 1, honesty. Step 2, hope. Step 3, faith. Step 4, courage. Step 5, integrity. Step 6, willingness. Step 7, humility. Step 8, brotherly love. Step 9, justice. Step 10, perseverance. Step 11, spiritual awareness. Step 12, service. Now, I want you to notice forgiveness is not in there. Forgiveness is not in there. Justice is. Okay? The key to amends is that you went and took care of the problem, then you're approaching them and say, "Hey, I took care of it." That's justice. And you want justice before you, trust me, you'd rather have justice than forgiveness. I'm not God. I can't forgive you. Only God can do that. That's how I feel about it. So how do I work that? Well, you're a child of God, and I use trust and respect. I trust that you're human, but I can respect that you're human and you're doing whatever you need to do to become a better person today. We don't need more than that, right? Okay. Our 12th step also says that as a result of practicing all these steps, we have each found something called a spiritual awakening. To new AAs, this often seems like a very dubious and improbable state of affairs. What do you mean when you talk about a spiritual awakening, they ask? Maybe there's many definitions of a spiritual awakening as there are people who have them. Yeah. It differs because you're different. But certainly each genuine one has something in common with all the others. And these things which they have in common are not too hard to understand. When a man or a woman has a spiritual awakening, the most important meaning of it is that he has now become able to do, feel, and believe that which he could not do before on his unaided strength and resources alone. He has been granted a gift which amounts to a new state of consciousness and being. Okay. Now, you remember it says in the beginning here that we're going to give without any reward. You've already been given your reward. That's how I feel about it. And this is opinion. Okay. God tends to give me my gifts before I even do anything because he knows that I am willing. Isn't that cool? What did you do really to have your obsession removed? You went to some meetings. Really? How much time and effort did you really have to put in for God to release your obsession? Not much. My higher power does not require really anything. Yes, he just wants that I ask and trust. He has been set on a path which tells him he is really going somewhere, that life is not a dead end, not something to be endured or mastered. I'm not trying to master this life. No, you forget that. That'll lead me straight to codependency. You really will. In a very real sense, he has been transformed because he has laid hold of a source of strength which he, in one way or another, he had hitherto denied himself. He finds himself in the possession of a degree of honesty, tolerance, unselfishness, peace of mind, and love of which he thought himself quite incapable. What he has received is a free gift. Told you. And yet, usually, at least some small part, he has made himself ready to receive it. That's what you did. You made yourself ready to receive a gift, which is the spiritual awakening. Now you get to see God's world for what it is. And I'm going to tell you, the power of truth holds no bar. You cannot fight the truth. You cannot beat it. That's why it upsets people a lot. Okay? Here's the difference. Strong people will get angry if you lie to them. Weak people will get offended if you tell them the truth. Okay? And you'll know the truth. How you present it is what's going to matter, right? It's not, it's when and how to give. Now, that doesn't mean we run around pushing what we have on other people. You have to be an example. This is where attraction, not promotion, comes in. If you be the best person that you can be, you will attract the people that you need to attract to make your community a better place. As long as your intentions are correct. AA's manner of living, AA's manner of making ready to receive this gift lies in the practice of the 12 steps of our program. So let's consider briefly what we have done. I don't go over that part. Yeah. I'll do one more paragraph and I'll wrap up because this is clearly going to be a rewatcher one. Oh, it's 7 o'clock on Friday. Everybody's at their meeting. All right. So practicing these steps, we had a spiritual awakening about which finally there was no question. That's how you'll know. It'll be as much a fact as breathing air. It really will. People won't even try and sway you anymore from not believing in God. They won't do it. They will leave you alone now. Right? For the most part. I'm not saying people aren't going to do stuff. But when you become a person that walks around with God's courage, people they don't fuck with you. People don't fuck with me much. At least not to my face. But to me, what is that? If it's not to your face, it's gossip. And we all know the rule. If that person is gossiping about somebody else, they're gossiping about you. And we never want to believe it, but they are. As soon as you turn your back, they're going to start talking shit about you next. If somebody talks shit to you about somebody else, you're next. As soon as you leave that conversation, then they're going to go to the next conversation. I was just telling so-and-so about so-and-so, and then, yeah, that's so-and-so. Oh, man, they're even worse than that first so-and-so. Okay? Looking at those who were only beginning and still doubted in themselves, the rest of us were able to see the change setting in. What am I going to say? Encourage them. If you see, you're going to get this all the time. People are going to come, they're going to sit down, they're going to bitch about their damn life. And then you need to tell them the progress you noticed. That's part of the 12th step. I mean, it's literally telling us here that new people aren't going to see the change in themselves. They're going to get frustrated. Okay? So tell them. Tell them. What's a good example? Hi, I'm Dion. I only have a week. That's not going to fly in our meeting. Somebody at some point is going to say, no, you don't only have a week. You have a week. Okay? And a week is you're in a room of alcoholics. A week is a long time to stay sober. A very, very long fucking time. 7 days is longer than 8 years. From great number of experiences, we could predict that the doubter who still claimed that he hadn't gotten the spiritual angle, still considered his well-loved AA group, the higher power would presently love God and call him by name. Eventually, you need to move on from group of drunks. You need to move on from whatever. Okay, if your higher power isn't, if it involves a group of people or an inanimate object like a doorknob, Sooner or later, you've got to make the change. But if you do it the way we say, it'll just happen naturally. One day you'll wake up and God will just be a fact of life like everything else. So, all right, I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. Peace out. And have a day.